Hi, I'm Heinbach. It's good to have you back. This is the second episode in my Making an Album series. And after the last one, it was already midnight, but I still had energy left in me. So I started working on a new piece that I recorded, as I usually do, first on my phone. I tried two things with the Syntrx that I hadn't tried before. The first one is working with the internal speakers. Absolutely sufficient for any outdoor jam, I would say, with friends by the campfire, if that's something you would like to do. But they also have a nice tone to them. They are not tinny or anything. I mean, these are not speakers like in a Nagra 3, where you just want to run everything through it, but they are a really helpful and nice addition to this whole synthesizer and make it so much more fun to play. And they're also nice to check tuning, because on headphones, it's really hard to get tuning right, I find. Here, it's just a quick check and then it works. The one thing that I've noticed is that, of course, the reverb tank is in here. So if you up these speakers too much, you will get more feedback than you would else. So you're able to use much more reverb if you mute the speakers. The second thing I tried is what you're hearing now, trying to find a way to sequence this thing, because there's no internal sequencer. And the main pitch control seems to be the joystick, but of course you've got the trapezoid here, which is so lovingly named. And this is basically an envelope generator. And if you adjust it correctly, you can get it to play pitches, and different pitches at that, because the Matrix has 3 different gain settings. So I was able to have 2 different ups and downs on 2 different oscillators. Third oscillator. The ghostly sound in the back is, of course, 2 bandpass filters. I just have to add them. They just add so much atmosphere. And you can see I'm routing the trapezoid to the frequency, but I'm using only a soft volume. Show me. And I'm doing the same thing with oscillator 1. Let's hear that. Here I'm using more gain, so it's this high note and then a really low. I don't know if you can hear that, you probably need headphones for that. And these together give a nice, hopeful rhythm that reminds me of Harmonia, which is my favorite band of all time. And that's something that I want to do. I want to go into this retro-futuristic cosmos where everything seems to be possible. The cosmos that Kraftwerk explored, Harmonia, Cluster to a lesser extent. And this is the goal of this track, to go for hope. This is Autobahn. I've got one additional note, which is just droning. But together with the other ones, it gives a nice beating frequency. So it sounds like more stuff is playing than actually is. And of course, then there's the ring modulator, which is modulated by the sample and hold. And this, to me, is so much part of the sound of the Syntrx. This is what makes it exciting. You take something, it's okay, it's nice, it's okay. But then you add this, and you're like, oh, okay, now it's bouncing. It makes me so happy. And of course, I can use the output filters to shape the sound, which sound gorgeous, but I'm gonna leave it in a pretty neutral position. Just a little, because if you offset them, you get a nice wide stereo image. course, you're also offsetting the bass a little. But I'm kind of feel like I want to live with that for the more immersive stereo image. I've got noise on tap, which modulates, I think, the filter. Yes, and the decay. Maybe I want to do this a little less. So, I've got more range. And change the color of the noise to darkest color. On the Blooper, I was thinking of trying something different. I do want to keep the pitching modulator active, because that just gives me more sound and more harmonies, and that's always good. But I want to try the trimmer, which will adjust the loop length, and maybe I'll be able to play it while I'm playing piano. That actually went well, and I think the Juno60 taking a bigger part here is important. I now feel I should arrange this and then, yeah, basically add some effects on the Syntrx, because this machine can probably do some nice bloops, some blobs, and we all like those. At least I do. I just added it a bit down to size, and I basically created a breakdown by muting the main synthesizer. So you get this beautiful build up. Song appears to be over. Then comes this little island. And I really like this island. And from that island, I added just one note from earlier before, at the end. Ding. We go back to so I think this song is done from what I can do. I could now add like the flourishes that I was talking about, but I think I just want to have somebody play drums, and I'm gonna ask Mason Music. I hope he's up for that. So Mason said yes. I'm so happy because he's such a great musician, and he should be gigantic from the stuff that he puts out. I told him that I was thinking about something in the direction of Klaus Dinger and Jackie Liebzeit, Motorik, the drumming of Krautrock. And of course he shall do his own thing with that, because that's... also, why would I ask a musician? It's just the general idea that I would love to see on that. And I'm just gonna bounce this. For now it's called Landstraße 2020. Mason was super quick, and I took longer than him to reply to him because I had to set up this camera so I can react in earnest to what he's sending. I didn't listen to anything. I just aligned all the files in the exact point that they were exported, because that's the agreed upon start point. And I got a full mix from him, but I also got all the individual raw files. And I think I'm just gonna start with the everything as it was recorded, because yeah, I like to mess with stuff more than hearing basically finished stuff. So let's see how it sounds. First thoughts, I love the open sound of the drums, especially with the overheads and the room combined. And I want to have a little more interaction between the main synth line and the drums. So I'm gonna do one of the oldest tricks in the book, and that is sidechaining. I'm just gonna take the compressor that's in the program itself, and I'm gonna throw that on the synth, and then I'm gonna have it triggered. Let's pull this one down, sidechain, from every time the kick comes in, it will pull on the synthesizer. So it's morning and I've been mixing for an hour at night on the track. I realized that Mason's mix was pretty much perfect. I just needed to adapt the mix of all the other instruments. Because when you've got drums in there, they become the most important thing. Second only to the voice, if you have one in there, and there's no voice in here. So you have to arrange your mix around the drums, because everybody knows when the drums suck. Everybody can feel and realize that. It doesn't matter so much if your synthesizer is a little bit out of tune, or if some things don't cut it. If the drums are good, the mix is basically good. So I did a bunch of things to do that, but I kept the original Mason mix and just added a touch more of snare drum from the stems, because I want the snare to be brighter. When I mix, I follow a simple rule. Bass drum, snare drum on the same level, as well as voice. These are the three main important things. Here we don't have a voice, so we kind of have to see like what's the lead, and that's of course the bass. So that will move up to the second row, and that will be 6 decibel below that. And all the other signals will be 6 decibel below that again. So there are 3 levels of sound. And the first one, bass drum, snare drum, voice, peaks at -6. Then the next one peaks at -12, which is your guitar, your piano, your synthesizers that are lead function, that are not like candy. And then after that comes all the candy, another 6 decibels down. And that's a really good like template to work from. Still too much bass drum on that mix. As I'd originally heard, that kind of got lost in the speakers, and that kind of got lost on the headphones, because there you want more bass than you actually need, because yeah, you don't feel the bass. But if you got it in the room, you realize not enough, too much bass. So I basically, yeah, how am I gonna do this? I want to have his mix. Maybe it's time to bust out the multiband compressor. In the end, the solution is easy. A multiband compressor, and the stock one in Ableton is pretty actually nice. And especially the long boom ring is gone, while still retaining enough deepness to like push the low end. So, but I'm still using the kick from the stems to sidechain the reverb and the synthesizer, which is pretty good. Before we get to the full track, I'm going to make the drum stems to this available on the higher tiers on the Patreon. So if you want to try your hands with some real drum mixing and see what's all in there, because there's so many more details and stuff that I couldn't get into, you can do that now if you subscribe to the Patreon. Thanks, Mason, for making this possible, and now over to you.
Hi, my name is Etienne Mason. I'm a musician from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. My main instrument is the drum set, but I also have a solo project called Mason, where I create daily or almost daily compositions using modular synths, keyboards, sound design, and instruments I make. I've made almost 500 compositions so far. My music is mostly cinematic, and I like to record quickly to release as much music as possible. I think I heard for the first time about Heinbach a few years ago while searching for compositional tips online, and also through our mutual friend Adam Morford from Morph Beats, who makes some of the instruments I use. I've wanted to collaborate with Heinbach for a while now, and I'm happy he asked me to plan this track. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. If you'd like to learn more about my project, you can search for Mason Music on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or Bandcamp. Thank you.
I'm so incredibly happy with this mix now, and with Mason's contribution to that. Thank you, buddy. This is gorgeous, and I really think this has opened up a new way for me to think about this, because I can also use this album now to come together with other people, and I think I might open it up for more quarantine collaborations like this, because yeah, it's all about us. It's all about still staying human and coming together, even though we can't physically, but yeah, our minds and our art can still connect. Yeah. I'm gonna upload this track to the Patreon. Thanks everybody who supports me there. You are the reason I can keep on making these videos, and basically you're getting the album before anyone else does. In the meantime, I've got an idea for the next track already, and yeah, but that's gonna be in the next video. If you have any questions or would like me to cover things in more detail, or think that was too much, or I don't know, whatever criticism you might have, constructive criticism please, then please post in the comments. And yeah, for more technical stuff, also the subreddit is very nice, and also sharing your own music and talking about it and all that beautiful stuff. So, see you again in the next episode, which should hopefully be out very, very soon. Bye bye.